Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true.
Welcome to After Night, a podcast about seasons in a row. I'm Lisa Fernandez, and
I'm Chris Wardner. And Lisa, honey, I'm a little confused. We typically cover the Laverne and Shirley show. Why are we covering the 1980 movie Ghost Story?
it's not even a good ghost story. It's the bad ghost story. It's Ghost Fever with Sherman Helmsley. That's how bad this is. Yeah, you haven't ever heard of Ghost Fever, have you? It's bad. It's bad.
I have not. Oh no. Oh no.
It's bad.
Oh boy.
Okay, well, this is Ghost Story. It's from season 8 of Laverne and Shirley. Directed by the inimitable Tom Trbojevic and written by Kenny Wallen and Barry Bleach. I'm sure Chris has facts about them coming up.
Yeah, I have a few. I mean, not much for reasons, but we'll get there.
And here's what the episode's about. Laverne heads off on a singles mountaineering weekend, leaving her apartment in the hands of her friends. She tells Carmine that her lights have been on the fritz, but it turns out there's a reason for that. Her apartment is being haunted by a ghost who has unfinished business on the planet Earth. After pranking Carmine, Squiggy, and Rhonda, Laverne learns the hard way that the ghost is all too real when it levitates her hiking gear. The gang's attempt at exorcising the ghost in the apartment results in the spirit possessing Laverne. It seems he didn't place in a major race for the 1932 Olympics, and the judges refused to call the race in his favor lived in her apartments. He wants a retry of the race before he moves on to heaven. Will an ersatz race crafted in Laverne's apartment be enough to chase him off? What did you think of this one?
Well, behind the scenes note, I wanted to have my friend Vanessa Cohen. She's a comic book artist, a really talented artist, and funny writer, comedian. She would, I would say, be the combination between Babs Bunny and Daria Morgendorffer.
Uh-huh.
And I'm really glad I did not bring Vanessa on as our guest for this episode because I have done some things she's never going to forgive me for, but this is somehow worse than making her watch Sayonara Jupiter sober, Rock and Roll Nightmare sober, not sitting down for every single second of Troll 2 when she had me watch that for the first time. And I also think that it's this episode is one of the worst episodes of television I've watched in a bit.
This isn't top Monastery Story for me, but it's up there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Monastery Story is interesting in that it's hard to even make fun of because there's so much of a nothing.
Yeah.
Here, it's mostly just the execution just doesn't go off at all.
Yeah.
And there's various reasons why this doesn't work.
Oh, yeah.
And because even the concept is not bad.
Yeah.
The idea of a ghost story episode, it's like, fine, you guys are going to make ghosts real in Laverne and Shirley. Fine.
Yeah.
There are totally ways of doing that are funny, that are sweet, that are hilarious, that are reverent, and so on.
Yeah.
This ain't it,
No.
Chief.
Nope, not at all. First of all, we got a completely unrelated character. We have no idea why this ghost is so invested in pranking Laverne and hanging around until like halfway past the middle of the episode.
Yeah.
And by the time we get his motive, it's like, why and who cares? And the only reason why they did this episode probably is buried in a gag that makes no sense because the song was excised from the DVD version of the episode.
Yeah, this basically is all the lead up to a Chariots of Fire joke.
Yep.
And they cut the song.
Yeah, they cut the song. They then licensed the song. It happens to generic ersatz music, and basically the whole reason why it even exists at all is to make fun of Chariots of Fire in general, and to make fun of the Olympics in general. I think this was around. This is for the 1984. They make fun of the 1984.
Yeah, the 84 Summer Olympics, yeah.
And we all know how that went. Well, it went pretty well for America. That was the year Mary Lou Retton, right? I think it was.
Believe so? Let me just double check. It's the one that John Williams composed the score for. It was in LA. That was that. It basically, if it's the one you're thinking of, it's probably that. Yeah, it is probably that one.
Yeah, I like gymnastics, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big Olympics fan. I enjoy watching it, but I'm not one of those people that like follows it very clearly. So but yeah.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah, Mary Lou Retton of the United
Yep.
States became the first gymnast outside of Eastern Europe to win the gymnastics all-around competition. Well, congratulations, Mary Lou Retton.
Yeah.
Hope you didn't
Cool.
turn into a maggot at some point later. Anyway, so here's what sucks.
Yeah.
Laverne having her adventure on the mountain climbing sounds a lot more fun than this shit.
Yeah.
And I am a horror fan. So me saying that a woman going on a singles excursion mountain climbing in a sitcom sounds better than a ghost story. You done fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, in the first place, the notion of Laverne going on a singles weekend where she climbs a mountain to meet guys is absolutely something more that happened during the singles bar, Club Ned, cruise ship 1980s and how people met in those days. People met on big adventures in the 80s and the late 70s. That's not something that would be happening in the late 60s very much, because that's not how you met guys back then.
Nope. That's not how you did it.
So it already makes no sense for the era. It's funny and it's something Laverne would absolutely do, but it's not sensible at all for...
Yeah, it's definitely not a 1967 thing. Yeah. When Laverne comes out in her mountain climbing gear in the first scene, I know what you're thinking, Carmine, but there are plenty of men that find this sexy. And my immediate thought was, yeah, just look at Lara Croft. Oh, wait, that's too early. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
God, I'm having trouble focusing on this one. I'm overheating in this room anyway, but good.
Oh, dear. My first note at the very top of the page is, Laverne and Shirley used to be a genuinely realistic story about two girls with small town dreams. And it's big town dreams, actually. They are big city dreams.
Mm-hmm.
To correct myself. But it used to be at least a semi-realistic story about two blue-collar women who had dreams about finding real love, having families, and getting out of the basically poverty-stricken area in which they were living. And somehow ghosts are real. Now, somehow death row, the points don't matter, and you can be executed pretty much immediately the second you've been arrested.
Mm-hmm.
And nunneries will involve singing and football teams and roller skating. This is the kind of world all of a sudden we are living in. And it makes no sense for the show that it used to be when it was good, basically.
Ain't what she used to be, ain't what she used to be, ain't what she used to be.
Old grandma, she ain't what she used to be. I did love Rhonda's line, if we don't get there on time, we're going to be late.
I hate that line.
I
actually hate that line.
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, I know, it's so dumb.
What does Laverne need with 50 feet of rope? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
At that altitude, the men only had to buy the woman one drink.
Oh dear.
God. They were in love and then they fell.
Yeah, I should rephrase that. Yeah, they were in love when they fell. See that? You know what happens to your head when you fall 50,000 feet? Hello.
Yeah, that's the only good joke, I think, in the entire episode. Except for when Squiggy thrusts Rhonda at the ghost and yells, "Take this sacrifice!"
Right.
That's the only two times I laughed in the entire episode.
Anyway, so yeah, we've got the Rhonda watering the plants, fixing the wiring.
Her outfit's cute, too. I love her outfit.
Yeah. Rhonda's adorable in this episode, yeah.
Yes.
And then Poltergeist, the next scene. Hi-ho, Rhonda in a cute outfit as can be. And I do like the exchange. What are you doing down there, Carmine? Seeing stars. Oh, thank you, Carmine. And my mother cringed at a lot of this humor, though, in the kitchen.
I can't blame her because it's really bad. Vague Carmine and Rhonda flirtation that goes nowhere. Floating wrenches on strings.
Yep, wrench on string. Yep, very noticeable fishing wire on this updated transfer.
Yep.
And yet, High Neighbor Book 2 still looks like ass. But this one looks great.
The sarcasm just pouring off of you. Pouring and dripping into
It's just amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Look, I'll give this scene credit. There's a lot of coverage, different angles. It's very weird to see. And Carmine's scared face makes me want to see him in an Evil Dead movie so bad.
he does a really great scared face when they say they're gonna chop off his leg.
Yes.
Or he thinks that they said he's gonna chop off his leg at the end of this episode. It's really, Eddie Mecca really sells that expression. That's really good.
I mean, this is 83. It's a good chance he had seen Evil Dead by this point.
Yeah. Now I'm just picturing him getting spattered with blood while he screams. Okay. Ironically, Bruce is on my TV screen now. 4 feet from me. McHale's Navy movie is on TV, and that's actually a better movie than this TV episode. That says something, because the McHale's Navy movie is shittiest.
So now, cut to Squiggy with a lady.
Yes.
With the VB thing.
We didn't mention there's a couple of amusing lines at the very beginning of the episode.
Really?
What about SQIGGY?
Right. That was cute.
Then, is there something weird going on in your apartment? Because I'd like to be part of it. That's okay. What is with the costume designers combining red and green nonstop? Why is this a thing? Why do they want us all to go blind?
I have no comment.
Why?
Here's my thinking. If the visuals are bad enough, they will drive you blind so you won't be able to see the remote or the knob to change your channel.
Well, back then it was just the knob. You just went over and turned it. You didn't have a remote until like the 90s. You just had to literally reach over and go donk.
Yeah, but hang on. TV remote history. Yeah. I'm looking up the history. Okay.
I was alive back then, Chris. I remember.
I know, but I was alive in the late 80s, and we had remotes for our televisions.
Technically, yeah.
Infrared communication. Yeah, most popular remote control was the Starcom cable TV converter. Use a 40 kilohertz sound to change channels. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Yep. So what date? What was the date?
1980 on the dot. Oh. BBC engineers began talks with 1 or 2 television manufacturers, which led to early prototypes of control remotes in 1977 to 78.
Yeah, all I can tell you is that they weren't common to like at least the late 80s, at least, because we were getting up to change our TV channels a lot until cable became commonplace, and it took a while for cable to become commonplace because I'm old. Anyway, I actually didn't get Comedy Central in my hometown till like 1998.
Oof, I'm so sorry. You missed out on some good years.
Yeah, I know. I missed out on all the MS2K years. I found out about MS2K through the hour. The syndicated hour.
The syndicated
version.
hour.
That's how I found out about it. Yeah. So I found out about it in my area. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. But
so
anyway,
we're avoiding the creepy Squiggy scene for a reason because it's terrible and a regression for him. And
okay. It is. However, we have to mention the actor.
Yes, we do. Marianne Bimboli. Wow.
Marianne Vimvoli. But yes, that's Janetta Arnett.
Yeah.
That is Bernadette Mira. Bernadette Mira from Head of the Class.
Oh, no way! I did not recognize her. I love Head of the Class, too.
Okay, so there we go. I had a feeling. This is why I wanted to talk about that scene, because she's excellent in the scene. She's hamming it up. She's voguing great. Fantastic little character actor. I also have to give a little shout out. She has a small part in the Shadow Writers. Small part or not, that's pretty cool. Because for folks
that's really neat.
And Hill Street Blues, Fall Guy, A-Team, Riptide. But yeah, when she gets Head of the Class, kaboom. She's also in like Deep Space Nine, Touched by an Angel for an episode. She also is the mother of the girlfriend in Boys Don't Cry.
Oh, well, things I didn't know.
Yep, and she's staying active as an actor and even popping into total misfires like the Heathers 2018 series.
Oh, Lord. That thing that stank on ice and sank to the bottom of a lake as quickly as humanly possible. And just think of it this way. The original Heather's incredible. The musical, great. That spin-off idea of a series with God Almighty, it's bad.
Yep.
Oh, it's bad.
Anyway, so Janetta is great in this little, very intense little performance to me. I like that, but absolutely, the scene is creepy, and the only highlight is that the ghost, as annoying as the ghost is, it cock-blocks Squiggy for the right reason.
Yep. Yeah, the ghost is in the right here. You have all the right parts and all the right parts.
Right.
And then, of course, gross cast and couch jokes and
my
slurpy
Squiggy
and wet kisses. Real slurpy and wet kisses. Did it move for you too?
Oh, you actress.
You actress. Jesus
You're just
Christ.
like all the other agents in town. No, I'm not. I call you back.
Yeah. I promise you I'll never work in this town again. And then at this point, we get our first look at our ghost, who basically does actually look like Phil Foster in a wig, but it's not.
Boring ghost is boring.
Boring ghost is boring and has a boring motive that makes no sense. Okay, you can really think about this. I know they were probably too afraid to bite off a piece of Jennifer slept here, but they should have had a starlet. The ghost of a starlet inhabiting this apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And she is there to deliver a warning to Rhonda to stay away from some guy.
That's a way better episode. It might rehash, for some people it might rehash the gymnast show, but that's a cool thing, you know?
Yeah, but there's a way to do that even without it being creepy. She might want him, or she might want her to deliver a message to this guy. Maybe this is her son.
Oh my gosh.
That she's meeting with.
Yeah.
And she inhabits Rhonda, and since this is her lover, it gets awkward because now she's treating this guy like a son and offering him milk and cookies. You can do all kinds of stuff with this and give Leslie Easterbrook a freaking showcase episode.
Yeah.
She never gets a showcase episode.
Oh my god, that's right. And we never get a showcase episode. God damn it.
Yeah.
Fuck you, season 8. Anyway, so we have boring ghosts smacking Squiggy around, use the brute strength, no Lenny to work off of, so even David Lander is a bit boring in this episode. Yawn.
Yeah. And David is pretty much flailing away madly improvising. We can tell where he's up for improvising.
Uh-huh.
The guys in the graveyard love to see it.
Anyway, so we flash forward. We flash forward to a rainy night and pop here with the ghosts and everyone's scared. And I did notice Rhonda was dressed in kind of Daphne-ish colors, which I found kind of cute.
Yes. You unholy one, take this woman as our sacrifice. The only laugh I got out of this damn episode.
Squig, no. But I do find it funny. He goes, don't go behind the curtains, go where no ghosts will go. Under Lenny's bed. To which I said, you're in the bottom bunk, Squig. That's your bed. Yep.
Everybody fail whistling.
Having to rely entirely on laugh track.
Yep. My all caps note, this used to be a reasonable show.
Who died and made you communicator of the dead?
Of course Rhonda was in Blythe's spirits.
Of course.
How did that work? How did any of that work in Blythe's spirits? That's my question.
Because she's dumber than a sack of hammers?
Oh.
I'm not saying Rhonda's a bad person. I'm saying that's the way they characterized her.
Yeah. Yep, sadly. Very sadly.
Fucking show. Okay, so we got a séance.
Yeah.
My mom loved the outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Carmine liking that they get to hold hands. Shush. Carmine, shush.
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't jizz in his jeans if the two of them kissed.
No, that's for moderators of Twitch channels.
Oh!
That just dated the episode. Rhonda leading a seance seems like a disaster waiting to happen. What do you think?
Pretty much, because Rhonda doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah, I mean, this is like how you get Silent Hill kind of bullshit, okay? This is how you get monsters in the basement, how you get a Dubik in your sister's closet, and haunted pastries in your pantry. You just don't want, you don't want that.
Oh my gosh. That was terrible!
Anyway, now she's talking with Richard Caron's voice, and we have possessed Laverne speaking with a ghost voice.
Yes, we do. Laverne big boppering it up like she is Juliet Mills once again.
Mm-hmm.
And that Exorcist ripoff.
Ah, boy. Laverne, you're arguing with yourself. More camera angles and flying beer. And he wants to kiss with Rhonda. Rhonda Laverne kiss. Oy.
So this guy's just been lurking there for 35 years.
Yeah.
For no real reason.
Yeah.
Why? He could have stopped Shirley from leaving. Anyway.
He could have stopped Shirley from leaving. He's the one who hid the note under the bed.
Yes, he was.
Oh, this son of a... Oh, this piece of... Richard Caron, you're a working actor. Rather friendly bouncer is my understanding. At the Catch a Rising Star Club in New York City, where you were discovered by Dustin Hoffman, who asked you to audition for a play. Got bit by the bug. Headed to Hollywood. Got a lot of TV gigs. Kojak, Beretta, Chips, so on. Another alum of History of the World Part 1. Why did you have to play such a terrible character?
God only knows. God only knows.
Fuck. Okay. I mean, this guy ends up in It's a Living, Sledgehammer, Mr. Belvedere, Dream On, moving to cartoons in the 90s, especially Disney stuff, ironically. Goof Troop, Quack Pack, Around the World with Timon and Pumbaa.
Timon and Pumbaa.
Go a couple more actor bits in 2000. He retires from showbiz, and he passed away at the age of 82. But it was a decent run.
It's a good long life. Long life.
And not bad for a guy that was essentially just a really friendly bouncer at a club in New York City who got discovered by Dustin Hoffman.
That's cool. I think that's
all right.
Good for him, really. And he does try to be this like cool, laconic guy who is awesome, and yet it doesn't work. Okay, so the entire last act of this episode is just everybody racing and it's obviously a TNA fest. And the joke doesn't work because you don't hear the Chariots of Fire theme. And it stinks.
Yeah.
And it takes forever, and then finally Laverne wins, and the guy gets his dumb medal, his fake medal.
It's about time.
Raguski.
The Raguski was cute, and Rhonda's Swedish accent was a bit
the little Swedish people.
But yeah.
Okay.
So, I had said that a ghost story episode is not, it has to, you have to really fuck up for me to not like a ghost story episode.
Yeah.
You also have to fuck up pretty badly to make a race scene in high speed camera. Like, I am a slow motion nerd. Like, Lisa here can attest that I have had films where people have complained about the amount of slow motion in my films and amount of wide lens choices. And I hated this.
Yeah. It's obviously about showing off people's tits and people's legs.
Yep.
It's marginally funny, and everybody runs around. It's just like, it's the weirdest episode of the show. One of the weirdest.
And it's not even lit in a way that makes it fun. Like, this is no longer a scary story. This is stupidity. I honestly, this is like children on the playground kind of dumb. And
yeah, it is.
And the thing is, when you're a kid on the playground, that stuff means something to you as a kid on the playground, okay? You have to engage the viewer with that sense of imagination, suspension of disbelief, and I'm going to go with this because this is cool and fun, and they don't do that at all.
They don't do it all.
All we get is this Carmine with an Evil Dead face.
And it's like, how is it possible for him to chase Frank to the restaurant at the end?
Yeah.
My last notes, haha, heaven is bureaucratic. Haha, this is terrible.
Yep. I mean, to be honest, I would even say, like, with the way they have the whole thing of him trying to get a job at Cowboy Bill's, he scares the customer. You're an equal opportunity employer. And it freaks the customer out. And my note here is, did they go to the school of the Munsters for getting people to run away in terror?
Yeah, amazingly not in fast motion. Amazingly doesn't happen in fast motion in this case.
Yep. This episode is 20 years out of date, and even then, it would have been terrible. I would have disliked this even under the circumstances. The
Munsters knew how to make you care about its characters, and with jokes like that, they knew how to work them. This episode does not.
That's a fucking disaster. I have a note from my mom, and this one made me sad because she she disliked the whole Olympic thing. My note is my mom disliked that, which is very video game. They just like that logic. Mm-hmm. But she had the sad thing that she said at the end is, the dream I wanted to have come true was for the show to end before season 8 was invented.
Oh, that's many of us, Chris's mother. Chris's mom is clairvoyant for the whole fandom.
Yep.
To be frank, most of the fans. Though I do know some season 8 promoters. I do know folks who really like season 8. We have several who follow us.
I have to extend. I don't know. If they've made it this far into the podcast, I do have to apologize for how rough we've been to season 8. Because as much as this season hurts me, it's the whole thing, right? One person's trash is another treasure. And I don't want to like this, just given that, this clearly is offending me for clear reasons of my sensibilities creatively. And it's like, okay, I'm comfortable knowing that that's just who I am. I don't like it. It's not good.
Yeah.
And I will dogpile on this season, to the moon and back.
Yeah. There are some highlights here. We're going to review one of them in the next episode.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, there's some there's a couple of high spots, but God, the lows, why?
Okay, here's a question, just to try to get this, and we've done this before, but here's my thought. How would you write this to make it good?
I already told you earlier.
You already told me.
The storyline. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
The storyline is what I would go with.
I would have Laverne haunted on a stormy night and she can't leave the apartment, and she has to, and the ghost is like a trickster, and and I think ends up finding out that it's the ghost of a child that never had anyone to play with.
Ain't you got no candy?
Anyway.
Have you ever heard that Dolly Parton song?
I think so.
Me and Little Sandy, about a poor neglected child who and her dog who end up neglected by her abusive parents, and she dies because she starves to death. And then she comes to haunt Dolly Parton, asking for candy. Yeah, I'm gonna look up the name of the song to double check it. Me and Little Andy, I was correct.
So anyway, we should do the behind the camera notes because oh my god, I don't know if I have any. Okay. Kenny Wolin, Barry Bleach, they're the two writers. This writing duo got their start here on this one episode for Laverne and Shirley. They jump off into a couple of It's a Living episodes, segment for the Love Boat, of course. They go their separate ways after that, with Barry Bleach writing an episode of Harry and the Hendersons, an episode of Dear John, and the TV movie Heavenly Road before quietly retiring. Wolin similarly gets a couple of Disney gigs, writing wraparounds for Rootin' Tootin' Roundup and Goofy's Guide to Success. And that's it. That's all that their careers had. And
interesting.
So these guys, I think, I'm very curious as to the situation behind the scenes, whether this was kind of like I Do. Was this a script that was rewritten extensively after the fact that they basically sold to the company at some point in season 6 or season 7 and then had to be repurposed and things like that? Because there are even aspects of this episode, I think, Lenny and Squiggy or Laverne and Shirley, as at least one of those two duos returning, would have made this a far better episode.
Yeah. Both of the boys reacting in horror to a ghost would be funny. Squiggy tries, but man, it's like
it's rough, man.
David tries.
All right, we got to give this sucker a ranking though. What are we going with?
0. This is a 0 episode. I laughed exactly once. It's not even recommendable for performance. The only good things in this episode are that cute Rhonda gardening outfit and exactly 2 funny lines from David Lander that I presume were ad-libbed. That's it. There's no other reason to watch this episode. It's terrible.
I will only give it higher at a 0.5. Not a 1, but a 0.5 for the same reasons mentioned, as well as the fact I really did like Janetta Arnett as Marianne Bimboli, and I did like some of the camera angles, and I did like Carmine's Eddie Mecca's Bruce Campbell face. Those were fun.
He had an expressive face that they didn't really take advantage of, considering how much physical comedy. Eddie ended up doing a lot of straight man stuff in the show. They didn't really take advantage of his rubber faceness. That's too bad. That is too bad.
It is much too bad.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right. God, I'm trying to think of a funny way to do this outro because this was not fun. Well, thank you everybody so much for coming back for Night After Night. If you'd like to know more, follow us on Twitter at Night After Night PC or at Night After Night Pod on Facebook, Tumblr, WordPress, Patreon, YouTube, or wherever good podcasts may be found. And right now, Lisa, I need to remind you, I'm going out to the desert. Is there any sort of thing that I should be remembering?
We're saved by a blessed Lenny and Squiggy-centered episode out of left field. The boys think that they found a treasure map in a squat meet and set out to dig for buried gold. When Carmine and Frank get involved, Squiggy slurps up all the provisions, and the gang gets lost in the desert. Will they survive? This is Please Don't Feed the Buzzards.
AKA the treasure of the Squiggy Madre.
Oh, yeah. Bye, y'all. For heaven's sake, if you are going to invite a ghost into your home, make sure it's interesting and attractive and has something to add to the conversation. You don't want to spend eternity with a boring ghost. Bye now.